Hello and welcome. This is my 2008 Diamondback Response. It's a 26-inch hardtail that I bought for use as a loaner last year. Well, this past summer, I stripped it down to the bare frame and rebuilt it as a 1x8 with a larger low gear for climbing. I then put the biggest tires on it that would fit, 2.4-inch Continental Trail Kings. Now, the bike rides really well, but I had not ridden it on the mini trail which I built out in the middle of my woods. In fact, as of this recording, I had not ridden the entirety of my recently finished trail. So I decided it was high time to do that, and I took the Response for a ride. The trail enters from my front lawn here, over an old log, and then goes past the pet cemetery. By the way, that is not a euphemism. Now this is the original trail, and up ahead here it goes left and the 2020 extension goes right. We're taking the extension, goes down through some miscellaneous vegetation here and heads up to the road. Now at this point I'm going to be riding along the ditch, and I do have to ask the question, is this still off-road? I think it is, but what do I know? At any rate, here we come back into the main trail, and once we clear this pine tree, we come to a switchback, which frankly still needs some work. I'm not entirely crazy about it. Then we drop down this little hollow and back up to a knoll.
Almost.
Yeah, almost, he says. Here, I'm trying to decide on the suicide slide or the top shelf. I went with the top shelf. Now, I'm sure I've ridden steeper bits on other trails, but for some reason my own gives me the heebie-jeebies. So anyway, along the top shelf, which is just what it sounds like, a shelf I cut into the slope, goes down to another switchback. And as I am about to discover, I've got something in my front wheel and somehow I managed to drop the chain. I haven't had that trouble with this bike anywhere else, so I'm calling it a fluke. Then the trail comes down here to the junction of Suicide Slide and the main trail. And yeah, I came into that bridge just a little bit wide, so after nearly falling off, I decided to go back, try it again, and do it right. Let's see if that works. And it does. It's all in getting lined up correctly in the first place. Now after this, the trail pretty much parallels a small intermittent stream until it joins up with the original trail. Taking a right across this bridge, and then another right up this little bit of hike-a-bike trail. The trail was really dry and dusty and I couldn't get any traction. I've only made it up this once, and that was with my old Rigid. Anyway, this goes up until it flattens out a little bit and we can get back in the saddle. Eventually. And we're off. And we're going to go up the trail and go past this junkyard where I've collected all these bits of old cars that I found out in the woods. And then it exits into my back lawn. After crossing the back lawn, the trail continues into a patch that I call the butterfly garden. And basically, it's a big old milkweed patch that the monarch butterflies love. And it's not too long, but using up as much room as I can in the yard. And those yellow rims there, those are leftovers from a skinny that looked better on paper than real life. Then we exit into the back lawn, where there are a couple of man-made features. The first is a really simple teeter totter that I built out of an old stump that I had laying around. Doesn't everybody have stuff like that? Yay! Then going around the yard again, and there's a little bit of a roller thing that I built. Now we're heading back into the woods where we exited a moment ago. We're going to go down a different trail. It's a little too steep for climbing most of the year because of the silt clay soil in this neck of the woods. And we go down until we come to that bridge again.
That's a sharp turn. A little bit of hike-a-bike.
And from here, the trail goes through a switchback through a soggy fern patch, and I stabilized that just by using a piece of pressure-treated lattice. Works fine for this purpose. And from here, we do a little bit of climbing, going under a couple of old widowmakers, which are fallen trees that are being propped up by other trees. And we come to another switchback in a moment here. And this takes us up a short climb back to the original trail where we came in the first place. From here, the trail goes back until it exits the front lawn. Now, next year, I'm planning to expand to the other side of the stream. That area is kind of wet, so I'm thinking that maybe boardwalks would be a way to go. I've included a link to the response and to another video that I think you will enjoy. And thanks for watching. Sincerely, I appreciate that when you do. Goodbye and have a great day.